Good morning students. I am your science teacher Miss Pratima. Today I will be explaining you how do metals and non-metals react with each other. Okay? As we all know that metals are the elements which can lose the electron easily. Okay? And they will form what? They will form the cations. In the similar manner, if we talk about the non-metals have the capacity to accept the electrons and to form the anions. Anions means negatively charged ions. Okay, that means metals and non-metals, when they will react, either of them, maybe metals or maybe non-metals, one has to donate the electron and the another will accept the electron, and when they will lose the electron or when they will donate the electron, the other will accept the electron. In this manner they will form what? Compound. And what do we call that compound? Ionic compound. Okay student, so here we are discussing mainly about the electronic configuration of the noble gases. We know that noble gases means the elements which have octet electronic configuration. That means they have 8 electrons in their outermost shell. So they have what? Stable electronic configuration. Understood? So if they will have the stable electronic configuration, neither they can take part in the reaction, nor they can lose the electron, nor they can gain the electron. So in cases of both, whether it is the metal or non-metal, both they want to try to attain the noble gas, they will try to attain the stability by accepting the electron and to fill their outermost shell with the noble gas configuration. Okay, so we know that there are different types of shells of an atom, K, L, M, N. Okay, and in that the electrons are being distributed and they are being revolving around the nucleus. Okay, so we will discuss here about few examples. Let us see on next page number 47 table. Here we take the example of noble gas. For example, helium. What is the atomic number of helium? 2. So the distribution of electron will be as follows: K, L, M, N. So in K shell, how many electrons are there? 2. And L shell, nothing. That means it is completely filled. That means it is a noble gas. Okay. Next is neon. Neon has the atomic number 10. So the distribution of electron in different shells will be as 2, 8. That means they have how many electrons? 10. But in K shell they have 2 and L 8. Understood? So it has 8 electron in its outermost shell, and that is why it has what? Octet state. Octet state. Okay. Hence we consider it as the noble gas. Next is argon. Argon's atomic number is 18. So how the electrons will be distributed? In different shells, like in K, L, M. In K shell, we know that the maximum capability to remain the electron, that is only 2. More than 2 electrons cannot exist. Okay, in K shell. In L, 8, then M, 8. Understood? So here if we look at the outermost shell, what is the number of electron? 8. That means it also has the noble gas configuration. It also has the stability. Understood? Next is, if we talk about the electronic configuration of few metals, like the common example is sodium. That is, its symbol is Na. What is the atomic number of sodium? That is 11. How the electrons will be distributed in different shells? Like in K shell, 2, because only 2 electrons can present in K shell. More than 2 cannot. Okay, then L shell 8, then M 1. That means 2, 8, 1. So what is the number of electron in its outermost shell? That is 1. That means it does not have the octet state. That means it does not have 8 electrons in its outermost shell. Okay, so if it want to attain the noble gas configuration, how it can attain? It can attain by losing one electron which is present in its outermost shell. Understood? Okay. Next is magnesium. What is the what is the atomic number of magnesium? That is the 12. Okay. The distribution of electron is as 2, 8 and 2. So do you think that magnesium can also obtain the noble gas configuration? Yes, it can also, because by losing 2 electrons, it can, if it loses the 2 electron, or it will donate the 2 electron, so its electronic configuration will be 2 and 8. That means 8 electrons will be there in its outermost shell, so it can easily attain the electronic configuration of noble gases. Understood? Next is, in case of aluminium, what is the atomic number of aluminium? 13. Okay, atomic number is 13. So the distribution of electron, that is 2, 8 and 3. How many electrons are present there in its outermost shell? 3. Okay, so it can also donate or lose 3 electrons easily, and it can also acquire the noble gas configuration. Clear, students? Next, in case of potassium, its atomic number is 19 and its electronic configuration is 2, 8, 8 and 1. If you see that the number of electron which is present in the outermost shell of potassium, that is N. So by losing 1 electron, it can also acquire the noble gas configuration and become stable. Understood? Next, we take an example of calcium. Calcium is also a metal. Its atomic number is 20. Number of distribution of electron is 2, 8, 8 and 2. So if we talk about the number of electrons in its outermost shell, that is the 2, so it can also acquire the electronic configuration of noble gases. That means by losing 2 electrons, it can also acquire the noble gas configuration, that is 2, 8, 8 and 8. 2, 8, 8. Okay, that means if we talk about the number of electrons which are present in its outermost shell, what do we call? The number of electrons which are present in its outermost shell are known as the valency of that particular metal. Okay, so here what is the valency of calcium? 2, because 2 electrons are present in its outermost shell. Potassium, the valency of potassium is 1. In case of aluminium, 3, magnesium 2, sodium 1. Okay, students. Next, we will take few examples of non-metal. We know that non-metals have the ability or capability to accept the electrons. Means, in order to obtain the noble gas configuration, it will also obtain what? It will also gain the electron, and it will also try to obtain or acquire the noble gas configuration and to become the stable. Okay, so let us take few examples. Nitrogen. What is the atomic number of nitrogen? 7. Okay, its electronic configuration is 2 and 5. Okay, if it wants to achieve the noble gas configuration, what is the number of electrons it will require? It will require only 1, because it has already 7 electrons, so it will need only 1 electron. Okay, and it can easily acquire the noble gas configuration. Yes, students, you have to remember that all the metals will acquire the noble gas configuration by losing the electrons. That means all the metals have the capacity or the capability to donate or lose the electrons. Okay, so that is the basic characteristics of all the metals. Whereas in case of non-metals, they have the ability or they have the capability to gain the electron or to accept the electron. So if it will accept the electron, it will acquire the noble gas configuration. Okay, we talk about next example of non-metal. Oxygen. What is the atomic number of oxygen? 8. Okay, so how the electrons are distributed? 2 and 6. So in its outermost shell, how many electrons are there? 6. Okay, 6. So how many electrons it will need more? 2. Okay, so it can obtain the noble gas configuration. Next is fluorine. Its atomic number is 9 to 7. So they can easily acquire the electrons. They can easily accept the electrons in order to attain the noble gas configuration. Okay, students. So all the metals will lose or donate the electrons. All the non-metals will lose the accept the electrons. So when the metals are reacting with non-metals, they have what? Exchange of the ions, and as a result they form what? They form compound. Which type of compound? Ionic compound, because the compound which they are been forming is by losing or gaining of electrons. Okay, here we take an example of sodium. What is the atomic number of sodium? 11, and its electronic configuration is 281. So it can easily lose or give one electron. So it will acquire what? Positive ion, Na plus electron. It is losing one electron. So its electronic configuration is 2 and 8. Okay. Next is chlorine. Chlorine, we know that its atomic number is 17. So 287 is its electronic configuration. By accepting one electron, it can acquire the noble gas configuration. So its configuration will be what? 288. Okay, students. So whenever any metal that donates or that gives the electron, it acquires always the positive charge. Okay, and we will call that positively charged as cations. Okay, in non-metals they will accept the electron and they will form what? Negatively charged ions, and what we'll call it anions. Okay, students. So here the sodium and chlorine, sodium is giving one electron and chlorine is accepting one electron. Like this, the compound which is formed by the transfer of electron. Okay, here which compound is formed? NaCl, that is the sodium chloride. So sodium chloride is ionic compound because it is formed by the transfer of electrons. Okay, students. Next topic that I am discussing, that is the properties of ionic compound. As you all know that ionic compounds are being formed by the transfer of electrons. Okay, so what are the properties? First one, physical nature. So all the ionic compounds are solid normally and are somewhat hard because of strong force of attraction between the positive and negative ions. So these compounds are generally brittle and break into pieces when pressure is applied. So what you need to keep in your mind that they are commonly solid. Okay, because they have strong force of attraction between the positive and negative ions. Next is melting and boiling point. Ionic compounds, they have high melting and boiling point. This is because the considerable amount of energy is required to break the strong inter-ionic attraction. We know that these ionic compounds are formed by transfer of electrons, and the compound which is formed, they have very strong inter-ionic attraction. Okay, so to break that we need more amount of energy. Okay, so we can say that melting and boiling point of any compound is higher. Then solubility. Electrovalent compounds are generally soluble in water and insoluble in solvents such as kerosene, petrol, etc.
20 मिनट्स बता रहे हैं.
So solubility means they are soluble in water but they are insoluble in solvents like kerosene and petrol. Next is conduction of electricity. So all the ionic compounds will act as a conductor of electricity when they are in the solution, because in solution they will have the free ions and which will be able to conduct the electricity. Okay, so this much is the characteristics of the ionic compound. Please do read the full chapter properly, and the remaining topic is been removed from your means it has been deleted from your syllabus for this year. So I will send you what are the portions which are been deleted for this session from this chapter. Thank you.